Hello, this is Team Dropout with.
My name is Elson, and I got second place at the Dragon Duel Nationals here in North America. As you can see here, I got 2 prize cards, and yeah.
What deck did you play?
I played Mystic Mind Burn. I opted out of the Chain Burn variant because it wasn't up to the cut.
Alright, let's go into that deck profile.
To start out, you have to play 3 Mystic Mind. This card you always want to see. There is no time in a game, never do you not want to see this card. If this card is not in your hand, field, you lose the game. You get OTK'd, there's no way you can win without this card, so you have to play it at 3. And to buff the consistency, play 2 Terra, so you can see it as much as possible. Now, to have access to your mind during your opponent's turn, there are some traps you need to play, like Metaverse. And to get to those, you play cards like Lilith, Lady of Lament, card of Demise of the Land, and of course the 3 Metaverse. Lilith is really powerful because you can't hand trap it. You can Called by the Grave it, but Ash Blossom, you can't Ash it. You can't Effect Veiler it because it removes itself from the field via quick effect. Demise of the Land, you can't Ash Blossom, which makes it really powerful. And also, it's a quick play spell, meaning that say your opponent's playing Altergeist and they special summon on your turn, you can just use this. Metaverse is really powerful because you can do it on your opponent's turn when they first summon a monster. Now, this card gets hit by Ash Blossom, which makes it a lot worse than Demise of the Land. This is searchable though off of Trap Trick and Lilith. This though, you have to draw into it to have it. Now, protecting your mind is really important. That's why you have to play 3 Bribe. You need to protect your mind. The mind leaves the field, you are leaving the game. You will die without your mind. And that's why Dark Bribe protects against that. Now, you don't have to worry about monster effects hitting your mind, because most often, the monster effects won't be able to be activated because of it. Dark Bribe negates pesky spell and traps. Say your opponent activates Twin Twisters, they discard. You flip the Bribe, they just took a -1. I had a game where I would have lost, but the kid discarded a Twin Twisters for cost off of Twin Twisters, and I bribed it, and he was just in shock. Again, protecting your mind against Salad is important, and protecting against negates like Crescendo and Roar. You want to set these to hit Rage and Roar. Both of them you want to hit. Say you have this set, you can hit the Sanctuary, and if you hit the Sanctuary, it's gonna hurt their combos a lot. Now we're getting to the burn engine. We want 3 wave motion cannons. The moment it hits the field, it becomes people's #1 priority to hit, and occasionally people want to hit it more than mine when it gets a few counters on it. 3 times this tournament, I burned my opponent for game just off of wave motion cannon. If you can set up 2, your opponent has 4 turns before their clock ticks to 0. 4 turns to out them. And if you have a bribe set and they can't out it in those 4 turns, you win. I was in a mirror match, and that's what happened. He didn't have the Heavy Storm Duster or a Twin main deck or side deck, so he couldn't do anything about it. Now, we play a very basic burn engine. The most basic that there is. I mean, you didn't get more basic than this. Blast hits on field, and it's not as good as Waking the Dragon, but when it's hit, it deals 1,000 damage, which isn't very important, but 1,000 damage can be really helpful. This hurts you in hand, and you have to play this at 3 no matter what. Secret Barrel is the best burn card. Mine stalls a lot, and in the stall and in the grind game, people will accumulate lots and lots of cards in their hand. And if your opponent has 10 cards on their field or in their hand, this burns for 2k. 2k is really important. And then just desserts, paired with Ojama Trio, if your opponent sets up a basic board with a Mirage Stalio, a Jack Jaguar, and a Sunlight Wolf, you fill up their board, these just desserts will do 3k. And that much damage is ridiculous. Next, to get to your engine, you want to play 3 Trap Trick. Now, its stipulation is very bad, so most often you want to have this set, wait for your next turn, and then flip it face up. On your opponent's turn, if you have nothing else in your hand that will protect your mine or become a mine, you banish the meta, you set the meta, you activate the meta. This is an extra copy of every trap in your deck, but you don't want to activate it when you have other set cards that you need to have proc off. If you have a meta set, then you don't want to activate this. Wait till your turn to activate this, set a card, then pass, because most of your deck's traps. The basic board you end on is set 5, maybe activate a few continuous spells or traps, maybe normal the Lilith, but that just ends in a set card. You'll probably never end with any front row, no monsters at all. You only play Lilith in the deck, and in the mirror match you might get trioed, but that's the only case you'll have monsters. Now for draw power, you'll never special summon in this deck, so 3 Card of Demise. Card of Demise you can't special summon on the turn this is activated, which is big stipulation for other decks, but in True Draco or in this deck when there's no special summons at all, this is really powerful. It's Pot of Greed, but better, because you can get +3 on this. In the grind game, when you draw this, getting that +3 card advantage won me so many games. This card you always want to see. More draw power, 3 Extravagance. You never special from the extra deck, so this is always a great card. Again, getting pluses in this game is really important, and going +1 can really help out. Not much with combos, because there's no real combos in this deck, but it'll allow you to get into your engine and dig deep. The stipulation where you can't draw any more cards after that resolves until the end of the turn hurts if you draw into Demise, but again, the +1 is just so good that you have to play 3. More drawing, Pot of Duality. Again, you never special summon, so there's really no point in not playing Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality is a ridiculous card because you get to excavate the top 3 and choose 1. So this is an extra copy of any card on the top of your deck down to the 3rd one. It's like Foxy's effect for this deck without having the normal summon. Now it gets a little spicy. This card right here, Goddess Scold's Oracle. Now its first effect is absolutely useless because you won't be running any Valkyrie monsters, but its second effect is absolutely broken. You get to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and put them on top in any order that you want. Say your opponent has 2 Twin Twisters on the top of their deck and another card. Well, just activate that, use it, look at the top 3, make sure that they never get their Twin Twisters for the entire game. The only way that this becomes useless is if all 3 Twin Twisters are on the top of their deck. If they use 1 Twin Twister and you bribe it, they only have 3 in their deck, and you get rid of 1, it literally becomes impossible for them to win with this on the field. It's ridiculous, and it's ridiculously powerful, too. Now, really spicy, since you'll never attack through the battle phase, 3 evenly matched. Now, if your opponent normal summons a Sekka, or any problematic card, You activate this not from the set card zone, but you can activate this from your hand during the end of the battle phase. And the end of the battle phase thing is basically you can attack the turn this card is done because of that. But since you're not using the battle phase ever, this card becomes ridiculously powerful. Ignoring you, it's just, instead of at the end of the battle phase, the effect for this deck is basically just you can activate this card out of your hand, which turns this card from being a great side deck card to being an amazing essential main deck card. Now, what makes winning this so special is I only played 7 side deck cards. 7. Now, that's my Mystic Mind deck profile. I'm sorry that I play mine. I am deeply sorry. I apologize. I know it's not right, but I'm sorry. I'm addicted.
Where are the 7 side cards?
Oh, you want to see the
I
7?
need
Yeah.
to see the 7.
Right?
My extra deck's useless. I played these because a lot of annoying Orcusts. This is just annoying. This should be on. Oh no, where'd they go?
Oh, you played 5, right? No.
Yeah, right.
No, they disappeared. Well,
They're somewhere though. What were the other 2 though?
I played a Summon Limit and Twin.
Did you ever side them in?
I sided in the Twin almost every game. Yeah, I got a deck check and I got a game loss, but I ended up winning that.
Alright, so how long have you been playing this?
6 months.
6 months, and just took second place and going to
Worlds. Yep.
Duels.
I'm probably the first noob that's ever gonna set foot in a Worlds. But I'm excited, and you know, those don't hurt, you know.
Yeah, right.
Just so you know, you see it. There you go.
Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.